afternoon. Good afternoon, everybody. I hope you guys are having a good Tuesday. I really do. Hope your Tuesday's well. I am coming live because I wanted to discuss the case of Maliyah Bass in Houston, Texas. She's not been formally identified yet, but it appears that there's strong evidence that seems to suggest that her body was found in a bayou in Houston, Texas, not too far from her house. And some very questionable interviews, on-camera interviews by her mother and her father. I'll let you guys come on into the chat. Let me bring it up. Hey, Centel. No worries, babe. Hey, Bertha. Allie, you say he was doing too much. Hey, George the patio guy, how are you? So yeah, Quanell X is back in the picture as well again when it comes to this particular case. He is a well-known community activist in Houston. So let's talk about it. Let me share this out really quick. Hey, Sandra. All right. So let's just kind of take it, from here. Now Maliyah, her name is Maliyah Bass. Her nickname was Tootie. And she unfortunately is no longer here with us. I'm going to play this really quick so you can get an understanding of what the news is saying down in Houston. I'll let the ad run. All right, here we go.
Right now, detectives trying to crack the Maliyah Bass case are in the middle of a painstaking operation.
They are searching a 24-mile area from where the 2-year-old girl was last seen to where detectives believe her body was found. Investigators are still waiting on autopsy results, but they believe the body is that of the missing 2-year-old.
Taisha Walker is live tonight in Southwest Houston at the apartment complex where Maliyah was last seen. Taisha?
Chris, this is the apartment where Maliyah Bass lived. You can see there are balloons, there are stuffed animals, flowers, and Maliyah's picture right there. Today, a few hours ago, Maliyah's mother, along with her boyfriend and activist Quanell X, returned to this apartment, and neighbors were not happy.
We don't care babies over here.
Anger and frustration boiled over at the Sunset Crossing apartments off Beach Nut. Neighbors weren't happy to see the mother of Maliyah Bass and her boyfriend, along with activist Quanell X.
That hurts me so bad because I feel like they were emotionless. They were emotionless while people out here in this neighborhood are crying tears for you, blood, sweat, and tears in the rain.
Many of the neighbors say they went door to door Saturday looking for the missing 2-year-old, who police say was left on the playground while her mother went inside of the apartment to cook.
Who kidnapped the child? If the child was ever kidnapped, we don't know yet, but it doesn't pass the smell test. No responsible parent would leave the child on a playground like that for 5 minutes, knowing this is a high crime area, then shut the door behind it.
Activist Quanell X says he was concerned with the living conditions he saw inside. He says, while he won't represent the family, he plans to get to the truth. Last year, Quanell X helped to bring Maliyah Davis's body home to Houston.
So this is an emotional situation for everybody in America right now because this little girl's name was Maliyah. This is another one. This is a wake-up call that we have to protect our babies.
Meanwhile, in Southeast Houston, Texas EquiSearch spent the day along Brays Bayou searching for evidence relating to the child's body that was found near Carrollton Street Sunday. Volunteers searched by ATV, by foot, and by kayak. They're looking for any sort of evidence that could help detectives solve how the child got there.
And medical examiners tell me that
They still have not positively identified the body, but Houston police say it is very likely it is that of Maliyah Bass. We also spoke with Houston police detectives today. They tell us they still have no leads. They're also urging anyone who lives along Brays Bayou to check their cameras for any sort of evidence that can help them in this case. Reporting live in Southwest Houston, Taisha Walker, KPRC, Channel 2 News.
Oh, oh my. Oh, it's like, first of all, what's the mother and father doing? This is what a lot of criticism a lot of people have for this family, okay? This family lives at Sunset Crossing Apartments, off Beach Nut in Houston. It is a high crime area, and they're saying, the mother and father are saying that they took took Maliyah, 2 years old, let her play at the playground, and they went inside to cook breakfast. What? What? You let your 2-year-old go play at the playground by herself? And you two went inside your apartment, closed the door behind you, and proceeded to cook breakfast? How do y'all feel about that? Would any of you all leave your 2-year-old child, you know, at a playground of any type? I don't care where the playground's at, and then leave the child? That right there is such a red flag. So, the question is, was the child ever even kidnapped? If so, who kidnapped the child? Is there any foul play on behalf of these parents? The police are saying that there's some foul play here. High level of probability of foul play. And then you've got Quanell X. He goes over to their apartment and he says, on top of everything, that the living conditions in the apartment were so rough. I mean, the fact that he even commented on that, the fact that he even said anything about the living conditions inside the house or inside the apartment says a lot, doesn't it? Now, he is not saying that he's going to represent the family. He's not saying that. He's saying he just wants to get to the truth. And of course, this child's name is Maliyah. And we're very familiar with Maliyah's out of Houston, aren't we? Remember the Maliyah Davis case? Even to this day right now, there's a high possibility that Maliyah's stepfather will go to prison and one day be a free man. There was never any murder charges brought in that case for Maliyah Davis. It's disgusting to think that Maliyah's mother was never charged with anything either. Now, I'm not saying her life has been easy since everything happened with her daughter, but she was never charged with anything. Her boyfriend slash husband was charged with, basically, yeah, almost like defacing a corpse or, human body, but was not charged with murder. Even though we saw him bring a tub that had her body in it and walked it out to his car. And her body was found all the way in Arkansas. There's so much evidence that he killed her, but they have not charged him with murder. Now, what's going to happen in this case? Well, let's talk about the mom and dad here. My understanding is, I heard two different things. I heard that her body, Maliyah's body, was found 18 miles from the apartment. Then I heard it was only 1 mile from the apartment. So that's what I actually heard on a news report. So I'm a little confused about that. Now, again, they've not positively identified her body yet, Maliyah Maliyah Bass's body. But even the police are saying that it's a high probability that it's her. Now, shout out to Texas EquiSearch. Um, they are always helping look for missing people. I have seen Texas EquiSearch involved in many um, missing persons cases. This is such a horrible, just horrible case. Now, I want to bring something up really quick. This is I want to bring up the interview of the father and the mother. And you guys take a look at, at these interviews and you let me know what you think based on what the mother and the father say in the interview as far as their daughter Maliyah Bass being missing. We've did this before, right? When Maliyah Davis went missing, we watched those interviews. It gave us a feeling of the people, you know. Bringing it up now. Now, the mother and father are not married. They're not married. They're just boyfriend and girlfriend. I really hate reporting these types of cases. Honestly, they are so sad. It's horrible. But let's see what the boyfriend has to say, because see, now the boyfriend, they want to blame the police. They want to say that the police didn't do enough. Now, this is the boyfriend, okay? So let's listen to what the boyfriend has to say.
On the scene, and as soon as the dog came, the dog passed out. Then the helicopter, right after that, the helicopter ran out of gas. There was nobody looking. The community did better than what the police did. My baby could have been anywhere at any time. And they have the nerve to get on Facebook and bash me and my girlfriend like we did something. And that's my baby. She know her ABCs. She know her 1, 2, 3. She know her colors. She only 2. She know how to talk very well because of us. Me and my girl. She was smart. She was growing up to be something.
When was the last time you saw her?
Yesterday. The last time I saw her is with my gal before my gal put her in the park. She came and gave me a hug and told me she loved me. This is her routine every day. My mama could tell you that she loves me. This is her routine to tell me she loves me, hug me. And I sit here and play the game. She come for me, we eat and everything. That's the only reason why my gal came in the house is to fix us something to eat because we haven't ate. So I called her and told her in 5 minutes. It was only 5 minutes. This episode. She was gone. And they don't realize my apartment, the rent lady had a whole operation, a sting on her for sex trafficking. And they let the lady out the same.
Just wow. Wow. I didn't see any tears either. I don't know what to make of that. Yeah, it looks like a lot of overreacting. Um, mm, wow. The mother, she's also been on TV, or she did an interview. I didn't see her crying either, but let's go for it. Here we go. Hold on a second. I'm actually looking for the news. Hold on. Wait a minute.
It could be in a couple of hours. I'm assuming they want to take advantage of the daylight to see if they can find Maliyah. So again, if you're just joining me, this 2-year-old disappeared from the playground area of her apartment complex in Southwest Houston. Mom telling Houston police that she just stepped away for a brief minute to go inside of her apartment. When she came back out, Maliyah Bass was gone. She disappeared, and so the search is on this morning for her. The Texas Center for the Missing did issue a regional Amber Alert, so they're hoping that someone will see Maliyah. I want to share more about her description here. And so she's 2 years old, about 3 feet. She's black. She weighs about 40 pounds. Now, this is a little bit of a discrepancy. I just called Houston police to kind of get some clarity, but they're saying that she was last seen wearing a black onesie, black shorts with polka dots, and a blue shoe with no socks. That's sort of different from what Houston police tweeted out yesterday. That's, I guess, semantics, what she was wearing. But if you see her, if this child looks familiar, you're urged to call Houston police. That phone number is 713-308-3600. I'm going to put it up there because sometimes it could be hard. I also put it in the description of this live video. So if you see Maliyah, 713-308-3600 is the number to call. So we're going on 24 hours since anyone has seen Maliyah. There's now a regional Amber Alert out for Maliyah this morning. If you see her, please call that phone number, call police. I'm sure her parents are very worried right now. And again, Texas EquiSearch will be joining in the effort to help locate little Maliyah later today. So I just wanted to hop on here to give you guys an idea of who they're looking for. I'll put this on my...
Keep in mind, guys, listen, please, please, please do not let your 2-year-old children play alone in any playground. I beg you. I beg you. Please. Please, please. I think the mother came out in this video
And like we did,
towards the
and that's
end.
my baby.
There's
She know her ABC. She know her 1, 2, 3.
this is
She know her colors. She only
damn
2.
it.
She know.
This man here that you see in the yellow shirt, that's Tim. He's the one that started Texas EquiSearch when his daughter was killed. He started Texas EquiSearch, and for many years, I know at least 10 plus. He's a known person in Texas, and he has managed to build this organization called Texas EquiSearch.
So very well because of us, me and my girl. She was smart. She was growing up to be something.
When was the last time you saw her?
The
Yesterday.
last time I saw her is with my girl before
This is horrible.
She came and gave me a hug and told me she loved me. This is her routine every day. My mama could tell you that she loves me. This is her routine to tell me she loves me, hug me. And I sit here and play the game. She come for me, you know, we eat and everything. That's the only reason why my girl came in the house is to fix us something to eat because we haven't ate. So I called her and told her in 5 minutes, it was only 5 minutes, I just told her. She was gone. And they don't realize my apartment, the rent lady had a whole operation, a sting on her for sex trafficking. And they let the lady out the same day. There's a whole operation of prostitutes thing right around us. It's people living in vacos. I seen baby footprints, hearts everywhere. I seen this in the vaco. My baby could have been in here at any time because the dog passed out and the helicopter ran out of gas. Y'all supposed to already have that together. Before the helicopter supposed to even came, y'all supposed to have 4-5 dogs looking for my baby.
What's your name, sir?
Travion Thompson.
How do you spell it?
TRAVIONTHOMPSON.
And your gut's telling you that that's your baby?
This is time my baby called. We called and they found the baby over here.
Travion, I'm sorry to ask
And nobody called. And nobody else called about it.
No, he did not. Yes, he did. No, he.
Okay.
Yeah, can I please get a
I seen the comments. I seen the comments about
wow.
him.
This is Taryn in Montclair,
Damn
New
it.
Jersey.
She's been waiting 2 years to do this.
You know, it's really ridiculous how
She's
Facebook
been
doesn't
waiting 2 years to do this.
respond to your commands when you tell it to back up. Now that I just wanted to show that again. There is an interview with the mother. There's the mom right there. There's the mom. She's had on a bonnet. Let's see if they actually show her in this particular video. Hold on.
From the violence to get her in a better place, baby. But I took the responsibility and they took it from me. And they took it from me.
Where's the tears? I don't see him either. I don't see him either, y'all. I know. I know. I know. Mm.
We don't even live over here.
But everyone cries different, you know? I know.
My baby didn't do nothing wrong. I moved away from the violence to get her in a better place. That's not even my baby. But I took the responsibility and they took it from me.
All right, so boom. One little ounce of information here. Apparently, Maliyah's not his child. It's not his child. And to those of you who may be wondering if there are any tears, feel free to look for yourself. Look close. Look close. I'm so over after the whole Maliyah Davis situation, and seeing how her mother came out and was faker than a $3 bill. Sometimes even if there are tears, you don't know if they're being honest. You could put them on a lie detector test and you're not even going to know if they're being completely honest, you know? Let's see what Cornell had to say. I mean, first off, while we're sitting here looking at it, look at the apartment complex, okay? Just look at the apartments. Just look at them. We see a dog in a cage back here. We see, obviously some stairs, they ain't been painted in a while. We see blinds that are, some are torn. I mean, this is not the best area, for apartment complex. And interestingly, we've seen a couple of people that came with Quanell. Doggone it. We've seen a couple of people that came with Quanell dressed, in, the uniform. We know that Emmanuel Thomas, shout out to you, Supreme General. Emmanuel Thomas, worked with Quanell X for 3+ years. I think Quanell probably wanted to go over there, engage the family, talk to the family, get an understanding from the family about, what all has been going on, to determine whether or not this was a case that he would want to take. I think he's probably learned, from previous situations, right? Let's listen to what Quanell X had to say.
Laid out here to play and went back in the apartment and shut the door for 5 minutes. They admit they realize this is a very, very high crime area. It doesn't make any sense that if you know this is extremely high crime area, why would you bring your 2-year-old baby to a playground, go back in the house, and shut the door behind you? That makes no sense. That is that is negligence as a parent, especially in a high crime area. But the bottom line is this case needs further in-depth investigation because we both know that baby didn't die of natural causes.
Exactly.
But there's something definitely wrong with this case.
Huh. Now, that is a type of news conference I can appreciate from Quanelex. It Quanelex has had some issues, in the past, when it came to representing Malia Davis's family, right? The news conference, when he came out and said a lot of things that we later found out that were not even necessarily true. Just, a mess. But hey, in this case, he says he is not representing the family and that inside the home, the living conditions were not proper for a child. His own way. This is what he said. Um, let's see here. So even the neighbors are questioning the story. Maliyah Bass's mother and boyfriend returned to their apartment today. This was yesterday. Neighbors were extremely worked up. Some had to be held back from attacking them. Ultimately, neighbors say they are questioning what really happened to 2-year-old Maliyah Bass after a body presumed to be hers was found in the Brays Bayou on Sunday. This is a neighbor speaking here.
Okay, but then when they found out that her body was out there, it really broke my heart for real because we was out here since 8 in the morning looking for her. So how would you just let that happen, go let her play in this park, go in the house, and you see that quilt right there? That was over this. And you see that board right there? That was over the window. So inspection, that's a safety hazard. If anything did happen to her, if she came outside, how would she even see her?
Now, here's what I want to say. Here's what I want to say. We're going to see a lot of people coming up, trying to clout chase on this case. We see that. It's really sad. You've got a lot of people out here, bloggers included, where all they do is talk about, missing children cases, and they seek clout off of these horrible stories. It's really, really disgusting. And I'm just thinking, it's just thinking that, something we would not have known about Malia Davis's body being carried out of that apartment complex in a plastic bin, if it hadn't been for the neighbor that was upstairs and across the hallway who had a camera on their balcony. We would have never seen or known about that. And how would that have affected the case? How would that have actually affected the case? Would he have even been charged with tampering with a body evidence if we hadn't even seen him carry her body outside because of that neighbor's camera? So I first thing that's coming to my mind is, are there any cameras on any of these neighbors' apartments? That's what I'm wondering right now. I don't want to see this case be handled the way that Malia Davis's case was. I really don't. I don't want to see that. Now, I do want to find the mother. There was the mother did say some things. But hold on a second here. She's such a beautiful little girl too. Let me go ahead and play this here. This is when she was actually located, when her body, well, we're presuming that's her body. She has not been officially identified yet.
Houston police that the body of a young child was found in Brays Bayou. So we are right off of Carrollton. That is just on the other side of Brays Bayou over here. That is Old Spanish Trail. We're not far from the Gulf Freeway. Very sad situation. This child has not been identified at this point. Crime scene tape is up. You see EquiSearch is out here. They were searching for the missing 2-year-old in Southwest Houston, who was at the center of an Amber Alert. That's Maliyah Bass. You've probably seen her picture circulating. It's unclear at this point if this could be Maliyah Bass. Our photographer who is out on scene spoke to the Houston Fire Department, and they told us that the child located here is a young African-American girl. That's the only information that we've gotten. But again, it's unclear if this is connected to the Amber Alert. But I will say the Amber Alert, that child lives in Southwest Houston, and this is Southeast Houston. So we don't have any information to connect them at this point, but we are here on scene. Like I said, EquiSearch is here. Houston police are here. They're detectives, their crime scene unit. And we're hoping to learn more very soon.
And how about I pull up a map? Let me bring up Google Maps because I want to know how far that distance really is. Is it an 18-mile distance from their home and where this young lady's body was found? Let's see the name of the apartments. Let me see. Again, bring it up. Sunset Crossing. Hold on, let me, I'm putting this in a map now. Sunset Crossing Apartments. Let's see what comes up. Let me look at this before I bring it up on the screen. Yeah, it is not. This is not. Here, let me show you guys this. This is not close. This isn't close at all. This isn't close. It's a good distance. There's no way, basically, the point being, she didn't walk there. Okay? She didn't walk there. So here's the map. Here's the map. So they live at Sunset Crossing Apartments, right? And it's at least 24-minute drive. It's 9.2 miles straight. This would be if I was, taking Beechnut Street. And this is where the bayou is. Brays Bayou. So the point of me looking at that is it possible, like if it was a mile from their home, could she have walked? And 2-year-olds, they know how to walk, right? But some kids don't learn to walk until they're 9 months, a year old, maybe a little older than a year sometimes, depending on the situation. But there's no way, I'm just thinking, can a 2-year-old walk, a mile? There's no way a 2-year-old walked from, Southeast Houston to Southwest Houston and found themselves in the bayou. There's no question to me that this was foul play. No question. Absolutely no question. Now, some of the neighbors felt that the mother and father were emotionless. Said they were emotionless, had no emotions when it came to their child. Quanell X is saying it doesn't smell, it passed the smell test, and he's even talking about the living conditions inside the home. My thing is, Sahara Irvin, her mother, Maliyah Bass's mother, says, and her boyfriend is Travion Thompson. So you had Sahara Irvin and Travion Thompson both said they left Maliyah to play on the playground while they were outside their apartment. While they were inside their apartment making breakfast. They told police Maliyah was gone when they returned. Her body was found by a jogger on Sunday morning in Brays Bayou in southeast Houston. Now, we do know right now they're still working to positively identify her body, but the police are even saying it is a high probability that it is Maliyah's body. And detectives say they have no leads at this point in their investigation. So awful. It is so, so, so awful. Let me see here. There's another article that I want to bring up really quickly. Now, Houston Police Chief Art Acevedo, he did a news conference, and he absolutely said, he talked about, I'm actually looking to see if I can find that news conference right now. Give me a second, you guys. That's so horrible. So horrible. I think Chris Thorns has been covering this case on his channel. Shout out to him. All right, let me share this this out so you guys can see this really quickly. Let me share it with the audio. My apologies. All right. Here we go.
Good afternoon. Thanks for your patience. I want to take this off so people can hear me okay. Everybody good with that? Yes, sir. Okay, I'm going to give you a quick overview of what we know and what we have, and then open up the questions. I realize this is an ongoing investigation, so you'll probably have more questions than we have answers. But it's a sad afternoon. First of all, I want to thank everyone's here. I want to thank X-Search Texas, who's great partners that always come up, and our volunteers always come up and help. But yesterday morning, about 9:30 a.m., we received a call of a missing young lady by the name of Maliyah Bass. She was reported missing at 10/6/30 Beach Nut. She's a 2-year-old black African American female. Maliyah's mother indicated she left her for just a few minutes in the apartment complex playground when she disappeared. Upon being notified, we responded. Once we knew we had a missing young lady, a little girl, HPD along with Precinct 5 started looking for her. We also had the help again of Texas EquiSearch that are here on scene, who are always helpful. And overnight, we also issued an Amber Alert for her, for a statewide Amber Alert. This morning at about 10:30 a.m., we had a female jogger along the bayou who spotted what she believed to be a body floating in the bayou. She contacted her husband. He confirmed there was a body, and they made a call to 911 at 10:56 a.m. HFD Water Rescue was notified via the 911 system, and at 11:19, HPD Patrol was also notified. HFD Water Rescue arrived on scene at approximately 11:15 a.m., pulled the body from the bayou that was still in the water, and sadly pronounced her deceased here at the scene. Patrol arrived about 11:19. Was called about 11:19 a.m. and we arrived about 8 minutes later as well. Here's what we need. First of all, I know the question is going to be the family. I've extended my condolences to her great-grandmother and her grandmother, her mother, and the whole family here this afternoon. They've asked, is this her? And, based on what we know, based on reported missing children in this city, we believe that although we can't confirm it's her, there's a high probability it will be her. And we don't want to give people false hope. We want them to hold on to a little hope, but we want them to prepare for the worst. And based on the proximity to the reported missing child yesterday, and the proximity to where it occurred, where she came up missing, there's a high probability it is her. Which I would just ask the community to please take a moment today and reflect over Maliyah and her family, and just say a prayer for her and lift that family up in prayer. But here's what we need. We need to bring justice to this family. I'm highly confident that foul play is involved in this case. We're highly confident that foul play is involved. And what the family wants now is justice for a 2-year-old that should not be, if it ends up being her. Whatever child this is, we know that high probability that whoever the child is, that it is foul play. So here's what we need. You all know where this bayou is, Houstonians. If you live or have a business by the bayou, go back for the last 24 hours and take an extensive look at any camera you might have in terms of your ring, if you're by the bayou, your house security camera, your business security camera, anyone that might have been jogging along the bayou here and upstream. Please, if you saw anything suspicious, if you saw any suspicious vehicles, if you saw any suspicious individuals in the last 24 hours plus, from 9:30 a.m. or even before 9:30 a.m., just anything that's happened along this bayou in the last 24 to 36 hours, just call us right away. Call homicide or call Crime Stoppers, Houston Crime Stoppers, and let us know. We need the public's help. We know that the greatest force multiplier for our city and for any police department, and which is why relationships are so important, is the public itself. Please come forward. Houston PD homicide detectives were on the scene. Were working yesterday. They're working here today. The Houston Forensic Science Center is here, and obviously the Harris County folks will be involved with the Science Forensic Center will be involved as well. So with that, the crime scene here is going to be wrapped up here, but the investigation continues. I have called for victim services counselors to be here with the family and actually to follow up the family for any of their emotional and psychological needs that they may have. And we'll also be asking for our chaplains to follow up with the family. So with that, I'll open it up to any questions, and I'll do it. I'll do some Spanish.
Could you tell us kind of the general area of the bayou where she was found? If she was...
You do it every year, but it never gets old. Pack everyone in the car and head out to the beach to stay in that familiar home with familiar faces and make the new normal feel more like the old normal. Vacation's right around the corner. Book the home that makes the vacation with Vrbo.
Are you over 25? Have a clean driving record? No DUIs?
Sorry about that, y'all. We got a little commercial that popped up here.
$19 a month. How? It's
She was found here in the water, spotted in the water, and taken from the water.
Hey,
by
Queen.
HFD.
How are you, babe? Good to see you.
We're not going to talk about anything other than what we've already heard, because keep in mind, this is an active investigation. As far as I'm concerned, we're approaching it as a murder investigation. And then
Rebel
we'll
Son
see
in the
where we have
house. Hey,
basis,
Rebel.
From there. So we don't want to jeopardize that. So we won't be
That's what's
discussing
up.
anything else
Houston.
in terms of the body and the condition she was found in, the clothing she was wearing, and so on and so forth.
This is a long distance, though, from the apartment complex where she went.
How long of a distance is it, guys?
Well, I don't know how long it is from here, but this bayou runs within a mile or so of the apartment complex. The same bayou does.
So what homicide detectives are going to be doing now is that they are pulling up the bayou system now. They're going to ask EquiSearch, Texas EquiSearch, am I saying it right, guys? To help us actually conduct additional search for evidence, and then we'll continue our investigation. But they're in the process now of actually pulling up the maps and to look at where she was last reported, and looking to see where she would have started potentially, and then go from there. But again, if you live anywhere between 10-630 and this Beach Nut in this area, and you're anywhere near that bayou and saw anything, we need to know, and not just the bayou, but any other waterway that may be feeding into this bayou. If there's any little streams or anything else that may feed into the bayou, we want you to check your camera system. What else?
If the mom's boyfriend was out here upset, crying, he said that he didn't think HPD did enough. What would you say to that?
Yeah, we did it what we always do, which is we called our volunteers. We brought in air unit. We brought in dog, and we put out our Amber Alert. You know, it is a sad day when you go over there and you look at a little baby, and so I can just tell you that we would have we'd do anything to have that baby alive. But she's in God's hands now, and now our job is to try our very best to find out what happened, and if there's foul play, which again there's a high probability that was foul play, to identify who's involved and hold them accountable. That little baby needs justice, and her family.
I know it's still early, but any suspects in mind?
No, we don't have any suspects in mind. We don't have any current leads, and that's why we need the public to actually start going over in your mind the last 24, 36 hours as you drove around the bayou. If you have video, again, I think that's key. Don't forget that Dr. House Connect, that was whodunit about a year and a half, 2 years ago. You all remember our heart surgeon was riding his bike in. Video from a resident played a key role, especially when you look at the videos today that are they're very high definition, they're very high quality. That in these home security systems, a video from a home and another video from Metro really played a key role in actually bringing justice and to that family, identifying the suspect. Even though he ended up taking his life, we knew who he was. Anything else?
Chief, is there any possibility?
A family vacation in a Verbo means leaving all the craziness behind. Well, maybe not all of it. Crazy feels good when it has room to spread out in a Verbo with a pool on the beach. It just feels like vacation. Book today and get away together with Verbo.
I just looked at it. It's about 20 miles from that address, but that's by roadway.
Right.
As you said, there's the bayou that runs by it.
Yeah.
Is there any possibility, do you think, that she could have walked down to the bayou, fallen in, and then it took her down here?
I think that's going to be probably not probable. We really believe this is foul play, and so we want people to say, and quite frankly, even if that ends up being the case, you never start off an investigation involving the death of anyone, especially a young child, with we think it was an accident, that she accidentally got into the bayou. I don't believe that. I believe that this is foul play, and we want to catch this person. So when anywhere that you live near water that leads to this bayou system over here, I think this was Brays here.
Brays.
The Brays Bayou. Anybody that lives by water or any type of flood control area that leads to Brays Bayou, please check your cameras. Please check your cameras, whether it's a business or a house. Anything else in English before I go to Spanish?
Who should they call if they got a tip on that, Chief?
What's the number?
713-222-TIPS.
713-222-TIPS, 713-222-TIPS, TIPS, if you have any information. And remember, you always there's always a potential to get a cash reward.
Did it make you angry with the son?
Absolutely.
Any words for the person that might be out there?
Oh, we're gonna catch him. We're gonna find him, and we're gonna charge him, and we're gonna get justice for this family that's hurting, and justice for a little child that should be playing today on a Sunday in a playground and not on her way to the medical examiner's office for an autopsy. It's very
We also were hoping for justice for Maliyah Davis, and I think many of us feel that there was, although there was an arrest in the case, I don't feel like there was like full justice, especially when no murder charges were ever brought. Now, I'm still really struck by the boyfriend. Dogs passing out, helicopters running out of gas. Like, what? What? I'm going to play that one more time for those of you who may just now be, coming into the room. I want you to see this because it's it's weird. It's strange. Now, this man, like I said, his name is Travion Thompson. He's the boyfriend of Sahara Irvin, who is the mother of Maliyah Bass. Let me bring the video back up here, and I'll share this out. It just doesn't make sense what he's saying. It makes no sense. Now, he said and this guy doesn't have kids, okay? He said he's never had kids, okay? Yeah, he was definitely acting a fool on camera. Trying to bring it up now. Seems like my laptop's moving super slow right now, y'all. Y'all give it a second. It's just clocking. It is just clocking. Had some issues last night and my live just ended. Come on. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. My browser just locked up on me. Again, let me play this for you guys. And for those of you just coming in, this is the boyfriend of the mother, Sahara Irvins. His name is Travion Thompson. He said dogs were passing out, helicopters were running out of gas during the search for this 2-year-old girl. He proceeds to cry, I guess.
I should have been out there as a family with my. She's sweet, like she funny.
Watch his eyes. Again,
It's gonna be
everybody
hard
grieves
to move
differently.
on. It's gonna be real hard to move on from this because I don't know how to handle this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I never had a seed. I never had a child. But for her to come into my life and be there for me, that's amazing. And for her to be so advanced at 2 years old, it amazed me even more. That's why I work with my baby every day on her colors, her 1, 2, 3s, ABCs. What's your name? When your I tell her, I say, where's the house? We can walk to the store. I ask her, where's the house? Just so she can know where's the house. How to get back to the house in case anything happens. We are prepared. We was prepared, but at this take a little mistake, in a blink of an eye, my baby was gone. And I feel like it's my fault because I wasn't watching her at that park. I was sitting there playing the game. I should have been out there as a family with my girlfriend and my baby. Her mother told me always to take care of her baby. And I felt her mother as a man. So therefore, anybody did this, please come forward. I'm not expecting you to come forward. But I know you probably seen us on the news yesterday. So I know you probably were scared. Come forward. Come forward. I don't want it to be nothing else. I just want you to come forward. That's it.
And yet another.
Okay. All right. Rest in peace to Maliyah Bass. You know, it looked, yeah, I'm with Queen on this. I know me and Queen have been covering cases long enough to get a feeling, and it just don't feel right. It don't feel right. I'm not, I don't either. I don't trust him either. My thing is, was the mother and him thinking? You know, he's doing all this, but they were both there, and you just let this 2-year-old go play out on the playground in a really high, and it is a high crime area where that apartment is, to play by herself? I wouldn't care if my child was 5 or 6. My baby, I mean, even kids now walking to school by themselves is almost a no-no. It's almost a no-no because there's so much that happens out here. I want to show y'all some pictures really quick. Now, I found the mother's page on Facebook. I'm not going to share it out right at this moment. Let me show you the Houston Chronicle. There's some photos I want to show you guys. Okay. I want y'all to look at these photos. This here is the adopted grandmother. Her name is Angel Harris. This is right near the area where they found the child's body. Again, in Brays Bayou. Harris's son, Travion Thompson, had been dating Maliyah's mother, Sahara Simony Irvin, for 4 months. They were only dating for 4 months. Taking a look at some of these photos here. What a mess. Helicopters running out of gas and dogs passing out. Some people just talk too much. That's Travion. I think people have a lot of questions for you, Mr. Thompson. A lot of questions. Yeah. Lots of questions. Again, police are already saying they believe foul play is likely. They already are saying that. Again, shout out to Texas EquiSearch, Tim Miller, the founder. He built this organization after he lost his own child. The body was 15 miles downstream from the family's apartment complex. Travion is 21 years old. He's been dating Maliyah's mother for 4 months. And he's talking about he feels like he's the father of this little child. He said that the child had been upset because he had broken her toy box. He gave her a pillowcase to carry her toys instead, while saying, "We don't even live over here," while Maliyah's mother was comforting him. His friend, Jamarcus Davis, said he believes someone took Maliyah and dumped her body into the bayou. Well, that's pretty obvious, isn't it? Even the chief expressed doubt on whether the child could have fallen into the bayou near her home and floated to where the waterway leads into the Gulf Gate neighborhood from 3rd Ward. Basically, they're going to need to do an autopsy to determine her cause of death, and then the case will go from there. It's horrible to have to report something like this, but I will keep you guys posted. I'll continue to watch this and monitor this case. Y'all keep your kids tight. Keep your grandkids tight to you. Keep them close to you. Because there's a lot of evil people out here in this world. There are so many evil people out here in this world. So horrible. All right, guys. I will talk to you all soon. And like I said, I will keep y'all abreast of any new information that I hear on this case.